I'm about to share with you 2 golden nuggets I learned this year that marked a before and after on the way I master music. But before we start, just we know each other a little more. My name is Ben. I'm a Chilean independent music producer and self-taught mixing and mastering engineer. In this channel, I create content about my original music and about my journey as an EDM producer. And if that's something that might interest you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down there. Let's get to the video. The first technique I wanted to show you is the yin-yang EQ. I learned this technique from Nicolas at Panorama Mixing and Mastering, so if you want a more in-depth explanation about this technique, make sure to check the link down in the description. And this technique is based on a theoretical mathematical relationship between frequencies, specifically octaves, in which, for example, if we make a small boost at 4K, it will generate a psychoacoustic effect in which we will perceive as if lower range, specifically 250 Hz, was cut by the same amount. And it works in the opposite way as well. So if we boost 250 Hz, we will perceive as if we would have been cutting at 4K. That's what is called yin-yang EQ. So we have a yin and a yang frequency. And what application does that have in mastering? Well, let me show you an example. So here we are in the last song I mastered, which is the song that I'm going to release on February 2025. It's called This Fire Inside. And I felt that in the drop, the lead synth was a bit harsh at the 4K area. So my first thought was to open a dynamic EQ and make a small cut around 4K. But by doing that, I felt that now the song was sounding a little more weak, a little more thin. So I thought, well, what if I apply this yin-yang EQ? And what I did instead was, with the exact settings, I did the cut at 4K. I did a boost with an expander at 250 Hz. And for my surprise, I think in this case, it was the right decision to take. So here's the EQ I used, and this is how the master sounded before I decided to cut at 4K. Okay, so I think you get the idea. This lead synth pops too much, feels a little hard at 4K. So my first thought was to make this cut this here. As you can see, I will put it on. We have a 1 dB cut with dynamic mode engaged, with a ratio of 10, 5.6 millimeters attack, release 400, and a threshold of minus 25 dB FS at 1.1K. So let's have a listen to how that sounds. Let's go again. So I feel that this movement actually achieved the objective, which was to make that synth less harsh, less on your face, but the song now feels weaker to me. So let's see what happens if instead of doing this cut at 4K, we do the same amount of boost expansion at the 250 area, so which is this one. And I actually, I ended doing 0.9 instead of 1 of expansion with a ratio of 1 to 1.1, attack for the same, release the same, threshold the same, and the frequency is at exactly 250 Hz. And let's see how that sounds. So without it. I feel that this movement was much better than the other one. It does not only make the harsh synth a little softer, but it also makes the track to sound more full. What do you think? And the second technique I wanted to show you, I learned it from Beats by Vanity TV. If you want to know more about this, please check the link in the description. This technique doesn't have a name, but we can call it the Ninja Clipper technique. And before I explain the technique, I wanted to make an observation. And as you can see here, I just don't use one limiter or clipper in the end to do all the work. I have been doing a chain of limiters and clippers in series, and if you want me to do a more in-depth video about that, please let me know in the comments. And that being said, this technique is based on using a clipper after limiters to reintroduce the punch via adding a small bit of distortion because of the clipping. So in my chain here, this clipper here, which is highlighted, is the Ninja Sneaky Clipper that is doing that. So before doing this technique, and actually this is the first master in which I implemented it, I know I was pretty surprised by it. So if I wouldn't have used this, this is how the master would sound without the Ninja Clipper technique. Take a listen. And this is how it sounds with this clipper here. Can you hear how the punch came alive again? It's crazy. I actually was pretty skeptical about this one when I saw it. Let's hear it again. Okay, those were the two mastering techniques I learned in 2024 that I wanted to share with you. Will you be implementing any of them in your mastering flows? Let me know. And I really wish you a very happy Christmas, happy holidays, and a happy New Year as well. Take care. See you on the next one.